Hey everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show. This is the first hour. I gotta finish getting set up, and I just got notified that I am going live. What I like to do is uh, get YouTube on the phone so I have something to look at because my camera's over here, computer's over here, and yeah, this only takes a minute. Hang on, there we go. Okay, come on. And oh, hey, Amy, what's up? Happy New Year. Great to see you, alien girl. Amy? Yeah, I am messing with my camera. There we go. Okay, well, this works. This does work. Okay, let me, okay. I got that turned all the way down. I got the email. I got the email. And hey, Bo Pains, Bo Paints, Happy New Year. Legion of Myth, Happy New Year. Hey, Amy, I did get the email. I am going to be there after this hour. I just got the notification that he's going on. I'm going to be going after with Shadow and Son. I asked if he could go on with me, and he said yes. So awesome. Hey, LA Moon, thank you. You have a happy new year too. Okay, this is not my New Year show. My New Year show happens in a little while. What I'm doing is I'm doing my regular first hour, and I have something to talk about. The big disconnect. I was listening to Kurt Jamungle and all these other shows talking about all these other things. Hey, Joe, thanks for coming by. Happy New Year. And yeah, it's coming. The new year is upon us. And you know what? It's going to be quantum because I'm making it quantum on my end. I hope you all can make it just as quantum as I am. Happy Monday, New Year, yeah. Happy Muggle New Year. Okay, so Rich is going on right now. He's doing his New Year's show starting right now. And I told him, oh, I've already got a show scheduled. He says, no problem. Come by when you can. I'm like, okay, that'll work. So I am doing my first hour. And yeah, yes, it's a 7 year. Okay. And yeah, my thing is the big disconnect. I was listening to Kurt Jamungle and his big New Year's Eve thing, right? And well, I was hearing all these science types and people talk about the evidence, this and what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. Well, here's something that also doesn't make sense. We have hundreds of years of mysticism and strange reality behind us. Hey, Storm and Shadow, happy calendar new year. We have hundreds of years of mystical, weird times behind us, and science doesn't take that into account. We have lost history. No one is taking, and that has been suppressed. That has seriously been suppressed. And I've quoted his work here before. It is Alex Calvo. He's on TikTok, and I did buy his book. I can just show you his book. I have not read it yet, okay, but it is this by see Alex Calvo. I have not read it yet. Those images are from some of the artifacts that he found, including that 6-shot revolver with silver bullets on there. And yeah, it has all that. I have not read this yet, This seems to be, he wrote it in novel form. Okay, he's not a documentarian, right? He's not, he's not a documentarian. He is he is, what did he say? Past tense, third person. Yeah, he said past tense, third person. And that's how this is. Yeah. This is a novel, right? I don't know if I'm going to be into a novel so much, but I do support his work. He's doing the best he can. He is a writer, but he's never had material like this to deal with. His family are ancient monster hunters from the Dark Ages, Middle Ages, and he didn't know what a paladin was. He thought it was something made up, and he didn't realize who the Knights Templar really were. He thought that they were just a fancy priesthood order, and we all know that's not true. He didn't know any of that stuff, right? He doesn't. He had no idea. He inherited his grandmother's house after she passed away, and all this stuff started happening to him. Well, that's lost history, right? Lost, suppressed history, because nobody wants to. Some of his videos are. I have linked it in the past. If you haven't been paying attention, go back. Right? It's an old. Those are the old shows. Um, but science and even history doesn't acknowledge those things that happened, let alone the ancient history that we've been digging up. All this stuff we've been finding, out of place artifacts, things that shouldn't exist, uh, buildings and structures and remnants of them, right? That shouldn't be where they are, because if there was a civilization there, then that would mean our society existed in the middle of the ocean. What? Not the middle, not quite the middle, but yeah, it's not acceptable to science, and so it remains in the air, in the realm of the unexplained. Well, that's unfortunate, because there's so much, and that's part of the big disconnect. That's the historical aspect of it. Okay, and then you have the mystical aspect of the big disconnect, and ufology. Yeah, ufology. Okay, ufology is part of the big disconnect because they are. Let me. I wrote this down because it's got some big words in it. Okay, modern science excludes all past history of mysticism, real events that can't be explained quantitatively from the dark history, or the dark ages and middle ages, because it can't be explained quantitatively, and it is being explained away as people not knowing how to describe what they see. Golems of iron and flesh. What? Okay, let's do that. That's one. That's one straight from Alex Calvo, right? Golems of iron and flesh. What could that be? Well, what is a golem? A golem, we've talked about golems here. A golem is a construct that is built by a person in the shape of a person. And in Jewish mysticism, a golem is a man made out of mud with a, I don't know, there's a ritual to create a spell. Well, there's a ritual. Hey, Sarah, how you doing? Glad you could make it to the Quantum Show. But a golem is a man made out of mud. A spell or ritual is done. A scroll is put into the mouth of the golem, and it comes alive. Okay, now that's a Jewish mysticism golem. So where how could that even happen, right? How could that happen? What was being misinterpreted? Let's scientifically deduce this a little bit, shall we? What was scientifically able to happen back then? Um, let's just go with the pop culture as much as it can be. The Mud Man Golem. Mud. Well, this is one of them gray areas of even mysticism that not too many people want to talk about. So, the Mud Man, with a spell or ritual, uh, a scroll is inserted into his mouth, and he comes alive. But he has no soul. There you go. He has no soul. And what could that be explained away as science? How could science say what that is? They won't. They won't. They say it's um it's myth, it's legend, it has no basis in reality. Well, now I have the Catholic version. Okay? Golems of flesh and iron. What the hell? Right, right. Robots. Robots. That's what I think. I also think it's genetic engineering, honestly. I think it's a genetic manipulation. And I think it was done rapidly for the humans to comprehend what had happened, not months or weeks in a vat, like science fiction says what happens, right? Yeah, pop it on steroids, okay. But that's what Alex Calvo has writings of from a witness. Golems of iron and flesh. Why isn't science taking that into account? Why isn't science taking the weird stuff into account? Because it can't quantify it, because it doesn't understand it. Hence, us in the pagan areas of thought have been saying this for years. Science is starting to catch up with magic because we know this stuff. That's the big disconnect. Science and yeah, cyborg. Yeah, yes. Uh, I did a short on shielding. Blue Chickens in the chat room saying, "Thank you for my new shield." It's your shield, bro. I just told you how to do it. It's one of them little human Easter eggs that we all have built in. Yeah, like well, we all have little things that we don't understand what happens, but we can make them happen. Like a physical Easter egg, right? Um, okay, it is a survival thing. If you put your head suddenly in water, your nose will contract and it will clamp shut in order for you to not drown. Try it. I did it, and my nose clenched shut. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. But there it is. Hey, Dorothy. Dorothy saying Happy New Year. I don't know. Yeah, the emojis aren't coming through on screen in the text for StreamYard. Thank you, Dorothy. Thanks for coming by tonight. This is my first hour. My New Year's thing is going. I'm going to be over in Groupon. He invited me over, and I was like, yeah. But the big disconnect is just that they're disconnected from reality, the rest of reality, just because they don't have instruments and words to describe it. And even though they don't have instruments and words to describe it, Joe can attest to this. The scientists go to the witches. When they can't figure something out, they go to the witches. And they say, well, Dorothy, dude, Santa got stuck in the chimney over at PayPal, but he'll figure it out. Oh, all good, Dorothy. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I am going. Oh yeah, I have been advised to put my PayPal and my Buy Me a Coffee in the description. It will be in the description after the show. I don't have it now. Well, Dorothy, if it's what I think is going to happen, it's going to take 2 weeks for them to send it back. So sorry. Um, but still, thank you, Dorothy. And okay, yeah, that's the big disconnect. I am having personal experiences with these things that science refuses to acknowledge is even happening. Okay, I am able to guess when people are going to call, text, email. At first, I thought it was, well, maybe it was a coincidence, maybe it was them. No, because it happens to me, to a whole bunch of people, and they never have it happen. They never say it because it is a really out of the ordinary thing to happen. When you guess someone's text message is coming in, yes, please hit like and subscribe if you want. It's quantum. It's all up in the air. Um, but science doesn't. They say, "Huh, that's unexplained. Interesting, but unexplained." And okay, well, Dorothy, I am just getting started right now. You haven't missed much. Um, but yeah, I'm having these experiences. The experience in the graveyard, right? Four entities. One of them spoke to me, not in a way that I heard with my ears. I heard it past the words. Where words go for you to understand them, that's where it poked them down into. And I got the message. So science says, well, you were probably, I haven't talked to anyone to help me rationalize this because there ain't no rationalizing it. How does a person disappear into a black void? You see four entities. I see four entities that look like they're all wearing cloaks. My surroundings got blurry, but then all of a sudden it stopped. And one of them talked to me. There is no explanation for that, not scientifically. I can give you an explanation. I've come to learn that cemeteries and graveyards have guardian spirits. I didn't think that was true. I thought that was something to scare kids away so they didn't mess around. No, it's true. It's true. They're here. There's at least four of them back there. And um they one of them gave me a direct order. It was obvious. And science won't say that happened. Science will say, I've lost my mind. I need Zoloft or something. That's what science will say. I need antipsychotic meds. Don't care. An antipsychotic med is not going to make my door handle jiggle, make the other door handle jiggle. I walk over with a camera and the camera turn off. Okay, I had my phone and I walked over there and the whole thing just shut off. Right, I was about to go. I was sitting here, right here. See, my door is right here, and the other door is just to the left. All right, and one night I heard a jiggle. Now, the thump thump of the air conditioner where it turns on, turns off, and pushes the door against the frame, it wasn't that. That was a thump thump. This was a handle moving. And I heard it and I wrote it down. I've got the log. I've been keeping a log. And when I went out there like this. What I did was I went down the one side of the hall where there was no door, right? And then I went to the other side of the hall where there is a door. Camera turned off. Completely turned off, right? I'm like, oh, that sucks. So I come back in my room and I reboot the phone, make sure everything's working, take a couple of pictures, make sure I'm hearing the door handle the whole time, right? And I go and do it again, same thing. But this time I skipped the hallway. I went straight to the door. It turned off again. I was like, nope, I'm done. Okay, matron's here. I'm not messing with her. She is angry about something. So, what can science tell me about that? Oh, you have a crappy phone. You don't have a Samsung. You don't have a fancy. You don't have an iPhone. Anything to rationalize that didn't happen the way you thought it happened. Anything. Okay. And Dorothy is saying, in Eastern traditions, especially the cultures not completely subsumed by modernity. Ooh, big words. All the $5 words tonight on the Quantum Show. They support people going through these experiences and cheer the birth of a healer for the community. Yeah, I have not heard it put so eloquently. I have heard of it, but haven't heard it put quite like that. I'm actually going to put that on screen for a little while. So, yeah, science says, "Oh, you misunderstood it. You misinterpreted it. You didn't understand what you were doing, or you were on drugs or drunk." That's what science has always told me about this. Because, yeah, no one is no one believes me. Hold on, I'm still hearing noises. Okay, there we go. I hope there was no echo. But yeah, all these things, spirit guide. I have two that I know of. I am led to believe I had more than two, but I haven't met them yet that I'm aware of. I haven't gotten any messages yet. Okay, no echo. Microphone over here, phone over there, making noises, and okay, good deal. What was I saying? Spirit guides, right? To them, that's multiple personality disorder and schizophrenia. I do not have that. I am a functioning human adult, mostly. I do toys, and I do. Oh, let me. Okay, let me. I do toys and I do Star Wars. I got a Gonk shirt, Power Droid Gonk shirt. I'm very happy to have this Gonk shirt. But yeah, if that makes me a non-functioning adult, fine. Um, I heard one person say to my face, really, the creepy voices in your head. I'm like, they're not creepy. And why would you say that? Right? This person had voices in their head that were creepy. She had no reference to any friendly ones, any helpful ones. And I tried to explain that to her, but she wasn't having it. And I was like, all right, whatever. Whatever. I don't want to talk about it no more. You clearly made your mind up. So I just was like, whatever. But yeah, science can't explain any of this stuff. That's the big disconnect. You want to look at okay, let's back to ufology, right? Back to ufology. Uh Eyewitnesses. They can't explain it. They have no proof. Every time somebody comes up with any kind of physical proof, they're gonna discredit it somehow because it's not them coming directly to us. They're not going to come to the White House lawn. It's not going to happen. I do not see that happening. Yep. Okay. All right. There is no threat. The threat level has not increased over the hundreds of years of reports that we've had. There is no threat level, right? And from all my observations of all these reports, the so-called victims, all right, Dorothy, okay, the victims of these in these reports, some are victims, some are contacted, some are actually conversed with. Let's see, people who are in confusion will challenge the most strongly. Yes, yeah, they don't understand. They're scared. It's the monkey brain kicking in, and let's see. I'm just highlighting all the comments tonight. Right. That's what I was getting at. Why wait until we have nuclear weapons? Why wait until we're actually a threat when we have something called Space Force that's real, not in a comic book, cartoon, sci-fi show, etc. Right? There have been hundreds of years of these reports. Science isn't considering any of them. None of them. Not um Roswell, not. They're not considering it. All right? And this rewriting the history books, they're not going to. Too much money has changed hands. There's legal precedence for this kind of thing, right? Um I should look that up. Why not disclose on a financial basis? There's a topic. What would it change? What exact we could cut that up for days. Oh yeah. Because oh man, yeah, that's a huge one. That's a good one. I might do that in a week or two. We'll see. I don't know. But okay, science is not going to accept anything that they cannot measure. Well, here's the thing. Let's take a couple of reports, right? Several, not individual reports, but in general, right? A few reports have said they move from 0 to 5,000 miles an hour, and no human can do that. That's what they've said. They make right angle turns at very high speeds. No human craft can do that. Correct. Also correct. And now I will put forth the idea, postulate that we are in a set of rules. I think I've said this before. We are in a set of rules, and we have not put ourselves here. We have been put here. Okay. We have been put here. We're in that set of rules in our laws of physics. And the things that we're witnessing are not totally locked into our set of rules, our laws of physics. They overlap. That's why we have sightings. That's why we have things being seen. That's why we have beings being seen. That's why we have things like some instances of missing time, because we are locked in the rules. If we get taken out of that set of rules, it doesn't matter anymore. And so we have things like lost time. Um, going, my dad had an experience. He would drive from Wasilla to Anchorage or someplace. I don't know. He would go to town, and it took him a certain amount of time every time to get there, right? He didn't have lost time. He had gained time. He didn't lose time. He wasn't gone for a long time. He got there like a long time before he was supposed to get there. I gave him the interview, and after that, he got cancer. So, yeah. Okay, let's look at these. How much money has been generated on the backs of aliens? Yes. And expose the fake economy we all struggle under? Yeah, they're not ever going to let that happen. Prison solar system, agreed. We are a wildlife preserve, and we are the Bigfoots. LA Moon says, both Frank and I wonder what it was we did to get locked up like this. Meaning, I don't know. I don't know what I did. Luck of the draw. If the universe is as teeming with life as R. Keith Andrews says it is, and I believe him, then we just got lucky. We're the ones put in the zoo. So, but yeah, if you look at the totality of all these reports, the kinds, let's say abductions, encounters of not abductions, like speaking to, right? And then uh, the mutilations. There are human mutilations. Not too many people want to talk about that. They want to talk about the cows. They don't want to talk about the human mutilations. It happens just like the cows. And somebody, quantum gravity, he came up with something really cool about that. That those beings, the cows or the humans that were taken, this was cool. I understood it. He said that they were flash cooked. All the moisture in their bodies had to be taken out real quick, and pieces just start falling off of them. And I can see that if these ships are using things that use, see, we don't know. We don't know. This is where we need science, but science can't keep up with it. Science, it doesn't apply to their stuff because their stuff. Okay. All right. Here we go. Right. Water here boils at a certain temperature, 212 Fahrenheit. Right. Right. Do we agree? That's at that is at ocean level. That is at a certain ocean level. Now, if you take a bowl of water or a container of water and you put it in a vacuum chamber and you turn the vacuum chamber on, it will boil cold. You didn't change the boiling point of water, you adjusted the outside conditions. So their outside conditions are such that their physics are adjusted differently. How I see things, right? And you know what? I think I'm a couple of light years ahead in logic from all the ufologists looking for evidence and talking about the proof. Well, there is no proof. The proof literally cannot exist here. Okay. And if it does, we explain it away because we don't want to believe. Powers that be say, no, not aliens. And also not advanced humans, not beings of a different frequency than here. All right. That's ufology. Ufology, solve your big disconnect. Take the mystical and bring it into the fold of this. Stop fighting. We all want the same thing. That's something. That's just ego. Okay, here we go. Lynn and Moon, USS Indianapolis. LA, will you please expound on that a little bit in the chat? I will post it up. Dorothy, to me, coming from a religious background, I'd say this period of time is what was predicted when it was written. The dead shall rise from the graves, and we've been dead, now awake. Good interpretation. That's a very good interpretation, like a great awakening. And we're the ones that, yeah, I like that. I do like that. Cheers. From me and Amy. Yes, dead because I'm going to say that it means loosely. Dead doesn't mean as not alive, just in the state that we're in. It's as good a descriptor as any, right? It really is. Okay, you got chat coming up from somebody, but this is what Dorothy said. I just responded to. Oh, Philadelphia experiment. Right. Why didn't I know that? Yep. Cool. You just ordered yours? Awesome. Dude, they're good quality. Okay. They're good quality. This is a good quality mug. It's your standard size, not a ginormous one like I want to get. I want to get a ginormous one. because you can't fit all that quantum coffee in a normal cup. I want a new one. I want one of her new ones that's going to say, uh, the ships or the craft, the bodies, the documents. I want that one. Yeah. Shipping, whatever company she's using, shipping takes a little while, so be patient. It'll get to you. But all right, let's see. But yeah, that's the big disconnect. Now, where are we at? Half hour. Okay. Well, 36 minutes. Good enough. Half hour. And I also wanted to talk about Bigfoot. Bigfoot researchers. A couple of months ago, a few months ago, I went to the Bigfoot conference in uh, Eastern Tennessee. I went with Shingoji, right? By the way, I know that Shingoji is in a perfect. He just moved out there. Well, I guess it's been almost a year now, and well, we had talked about all these different things, and when he caught a UFO, he only had his phone and no way to hold on. Radar block. Okay, radar blocking experiment that went temporal. Yes, temporal. That's one of my favorite words ever that I can never remember. Hello, Storm and Shadow 2012. Yeah, TARDIS cups. But yeah, they dipped into something that they didn't realize they were dipping into. By creating such a huge magnetic field, I postulate again, based on given evidence and given outcomes, they inadvertently changed the environment with which the hardware was in, and everything was not in sync with each other. That's why it phased in and out. People found in bulkheads, right? So much more. And not even dead. Some just gone. Gang's getting here. There are a bunch of different shows going on right now for the New Year's. And my first hour is going to be just that. And hey, Joe. Yeah. Yeah. Almost everybody's here. A bunch of shows are going on right now. They're all going to those because I'm doing a blog. They're doing like music and dancing and jokes and guest stars and things like that. I got me and some robots, some action figures. So I don't blame them for not wanting to come around and listen to me talk stuff. And okay, um, before I go any further, I want to 3924 full disclaimer, total clarity, right? I am not a researcher. I don't have time to research these things. These are personal experiences. The only time I really do research is I look for references from other people having similar experiences. Um, when I call it the quantum show, I mean from a spiritual perspective, not a quantum mechanics perspective. No, not at all. Way above my head, that's math and engineering, and I am not really good at either one of those things. I can do some material sciences, I can do some technical stuff, but no. Okay. So if someone comes in here asking me, have you read this dissertation on quantum? But no, I haven't. I have not. Um, and a lot of these ufology people, and Bigfoot people. Well, less so the Bigfoot people. Most of the Bigfoot people. Whoa. Let me go back a little bit. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you, Dorothy. Oh, that is awesome. I love hearing that. This is just personal experience, yo. I'm not preaching. I'm not selling. If you want a gonk shirt, go to Etsy. Yeah. Put Joe on it. Put Joe in charge of ufology. Joe, make it. There was a question the other day, or actually a question yesterday in Theories of Everything show. Who should be in charge of ufology? Joe. Actually, in the chat, I said Rich and Amy. Put Rich and Amy in charge of ufology. They'll make this stuff happen. You want to keep track of everything? Go to Amy. You want to track down everything? Go to Rich. They will never lose a thing, and they'll be able to pick up your library card from 25 years ago from the ufology library. That's Amy. She's good. She's good like that. She's got them skills of a librarian. It's in her blood. And a degree also. Yeah. Again, Dorothy, thank you. Personal experience is the wisdom. And I'm silly. I got to be silly. I tried to do, speaking of silly, I tried to do a holiday themed alien. So there we go. It's a Cairn crawler. I was going to do a whole scene where, I had these pulling the rumbler vehicle, but I ran out of time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I sent him I can send him my resume. My credentials are on there. I don't have many, but as far as ufology and former top secret, got the Men in Black called on me twice. I don't know. And yeah, that was a trip. Previous show, I discussed it, but oh no, he is the reindeer, like Cairn crawler wearing reindeer horns. Uh, Dollar Tree, Dollar General. I got a whole bag of them reindeer because I wanted to make 8 tiny reindeer pulling the alien sleigh. I just didn't do it, but um, yeah, that's the big disconnect. Where was I? What was I talking about? Thank you, Dorothy. Maybe next year, or maybe in springtime. I don't know. I'll get it done at some point. I figured out how to do it. I just got to do it. Um, and where was I? What was I even talking? Oh yeah, I'm not a researcher. That's right. That's right. These are my personal experiences. I have no books to back them up. I have no evidence of the 4 guys that came after me. The black void that sucked my friend in or spit her back out. Okay. The knob in the hallway. My camera turning off. That's not evidence. That is totally debunkable as bad technology. You were high. You had too much coffee or liquor or pills or whatever. And no one's going to look past that. That's the thing. When they say, let's take an example, right? Voices in my head. Have you? And they're going to ask me, have you ever been diagnosed with any of the mental problems? And I'm going to say, no, I've never been diagnosed. And they're going to not go any further. They're going to stop right there. They're going to assume I am unreliable because that's what we do, right? We don't dig past that most of the time, especially mainstream science. When a witness comes around, they don't look into them, right? Only the people who really want to know. I'm talking mainstream, not us, okay? Not me, you, Rich, Amy, Joe, not us. We will look. We will get to know the person like stalkers, okay? Yeah, Lynn Ann. Want some wisdom? There's some right there. Yeah, they're so anxious they're going to stop where they're comfortable and in their belief system. Yep, they're going to stop right there. If I was to come forth with that more than just on a YouTube channel, if I was to go, let's say, do something important, like I cannot talk about this at work, even though they all know I have a channel. None of them look at it because they're stuck in their muggle world. That's fine. That's fine. I'm the only non-muggle at my work, and um, I'm not. If they saw this, they'd probably not be very happy. So what? Anyway, voices in my head. What are they going to say? They're gonna look at my mental history and stop. They're going to stop. They're not going to go any further because then they would either have to take action, take corrective action, or punishment. Okay, and they don't want to do that. They're not going to do that. Let's see this. And because it normally costs too much, and they won't get anything from it. It won't help anyone's situation unless there's spite involved. Then they will go after to cut apart somebody. Ufology does that. Unfortunately, there's a lot of spite, and I hate to say it, but it's true. There's a lot of spite in it, and when if I was to go, like I to go mainstream again with the voices and the doorknob. Let's just stick to that. Forget the psychic stuff. Forget the spirit guides. The graveyard. Forget we're dealing with the spirit guides. They're gonna say I'm crazy. They're gonna say it's my conscious guiding me, and they're gonna try to give me like medicines, antipsychotic, and stuff like that. Never gonna happen. I'd rather have this if that's what it takes, and I end up all messed up, right? I'm messed up enough as it is. I don't need nothing to help me along in the idea of curing me. Give me a break. That's what it would get to. And then it gets expensive because I ain't gonna pay for it, right? They're not gonna make me pay for it. And they don't want to pay for it. So the mental health care in this country is not so great, okay? Not great at all. It's almost as bad as the dental care or worse. And all right, Dorothy just said something. I've been through a positive dissolution myself. Resolution of belief versus reality. Let me just put that on screen. All right. Yeah. And as a follow up to that comment, Dorothy says, but if you sublimate your story to a religious narrative that people recognize, you're blessed. Yeah. You're a prophet. You're a holy person. And God said to do it. Well, God isn't involved. No Yahweh or nobody is involved with Xena and Sabrina and these guys in the graveyard and the people at the church. When I say people, I mean spirits, right? And you know, I don't think God is involved. They all think God is involved, right? All the spirits do. It's a Christian graveyard, so yeah, God is there, just not dealing with me. And the church definitely. What is it? The fierce Mathor for the Methodist. I don't remember. There's a local thing where people Baptor, the Baptist worship Baptor, the god of the warrior god. They made up names for all the different divisions or those things. And but they would just say I'm crazy. My PTSD has finally made me snap. Am I a danger? They would probably put me away for a little while to make sure I'm not. Take away all my licenses, take away all my certifications in the name of preserving the mainstream. Yeah, they'll do that. They'll do that. Rather, and especially if I want to continue doing things like going to work, driving a car, owning certain things that you had to be certified for. I'm talking sciencey stuff, right? Um, they'd pull all that. They would not allow me to use it because they would have to admit to someone somewhere that they determined I'm not a threat. However, all this stuff has been recorded that I said, and it's going to create a problem because someone's going to see all this stuff and they're going to go, how can he be deemed totally okay when he's got all this stuff? So that's why I keep quiet, because they would literally, well, figuratively cut my legs off, and I would not be able to do anything but get on TikTok and make stupid videos. And by the way, I'm off of TikTok. If you're on TikTok, read your terms and condition of service. You will not be happy about it. Hello, Maria. Welcome back. The first hour is almost over. I'm going over to Goof On in about maybe 10 minutes. And yeah, you'll want to watch. But Maria, welcome back to the Quantum Show. I was going over the big disconnect, and that is the big disconnect. Let me summarize for a few minutes, right? The big disconnect is that ufology and all of science, archaeology, all of it, history, because they can't explain it, they just don't even look at it. They don't even consider it. You know what that is? Dog psychology. What does a dog do with something? Turns away. Doesn't look at it. Doesn't acknowledge it. That is dog psychology. Why are we doing dog psychology in science without dogs? You know, that's straight up dog psychology. That's how dogs react to something they don't like or they're not supposed to pay attention to. They turn their head. They ignore it. They avoid it. And they just will not consider the hundreds or thousands of years of witness testimony, actual evidence. Let's look at the stuff inside the pyramids, shall we? Let's look at the stuff. Portugal, shall we? Biggest pyramid in the freaking world, Portugal. Go. Maybe it's not Portugal. Maybe it's somewhere else, but it's over that ways. And it's so big they thought it was a mountain, not a hill. Giza would be a hill. This is a mountain. It's like 50 times the size of Giza. Okay? I can't remember. See, that's me. I would have to go and get a link talking about that. It's on, I can almost remember it, but the reason they're not, I remember reading the article, the reason they're not looking at it is because they want to charge everybody to come in, and they don't want anybody to dig, but they want tourism. So it's kind of like they're shooting themselves in the foot. I think not Romania. Link will be in the chat. Okay. However, yeah, there are thousands of years of physical evidence, written and oral reports that science isn't looking at, because they say, oh, well, people didn't have science back then. They didn't need it. They didn't die because they didn't have science. They interpreted it. And thanks to what I call quantum link, they used it. Baghdad battery. Where'd that come from? Oh, that was just lucky. Oh, please. You're going to make a flower pot with bitumen and copper? Would anyone like to tell me what good is solid copper to a plant? Please? Someone? Anybody? Go ahead, leave a comment. What good is solid copper to a plant with bitumen in there? Right? Is there some that's not exactly terra preta. Discuss. Uh I think it's Phillips. Jeremy Phillips. NotAliens.com. Terra preta. Advanced humanity. It was bioengineered. It's from the Amazon jungle. Nobody wants to talk about it. It's illegal in the United States. Invasive species. Can you believe it? You can't even sneak in. You're not even. I bet they even check your shoes if you come on board any plane. If you go to airport, I don't know. That's my paranoia sticking up right there. Yeah, Mexico has an upside down pyramid. Okay, that is my summary, and that is the big disconnect. Science is ignoring reality because it wasn't written down with facts, figures, charts, and what do you do? What happens to it when you catch it on fire? They didn't do that, right? So science, including ufology and Bigfoot researchers, they're ignoring that. Most of the Bigfoot researchers, the paranormal Bigfoot is a real thing. Okay, the paranormal Bigfoot is a buddy of mine, and I've been seeing this a lot. Well, you can just go look, right? Look for Bigfoot print in snow, single prints only. There's a bunch of them. How do you have a single print from anything? Anything that leaves prints has more than 1 foot, unless they have a cane, and that would be a human, okay? Or a pet dog or cat with a prosthetic. Yeah, they're there. Or like a lamb with a prosthetic. I don't think they do lamb or goat prosthetics right yet. I don't think we're there yet. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to do that. We're definitely there. But yeah, how does that happen? In a field of snow, 1 print. In a yard, 1 print. Only. No leading up to it, no leading away from of anything, right? No cats, dogs, people, sleds, trucks, SUVs, airplanes, UFOs, nothing, right? No indicator of any kind up to this single print. How? What did somebody just decide to take a fishing pole with a big wooden foot on it that they carved to perfection, by the way, slam it down in the snow like 3 inches deep, and then yank it straight back up? Is that what they did? Science? What do you got for me, science? And how about all the ghost stories? Science. Looking at you, science. Not so much ufology right now, but mainstream science. Just come on. Bring it. I will be that girl at Waffle House. I will catch the chair of your logic and toss it to the side and go. Okay, y'all, thanks for coming to the first hour of Quantum Show. Last show of 2022. I will be back, but I'm going on GoofOn in just a few minutes. And Shadow and Sun said they want to be there with me. So great. We're both going to be on GoofOn. I think he's going to let us in when he has a spot, because he uses the same setup that we're using here. StreamYard, link to YouTube. So I am going to call it Happy New Year. Dorothy, Linan, Joe, Maria. Who else? Who's been here? Sarah, Storm and Shadow. Yeah. Had somebody else in here. Robots. Amy. Of course, Amy. Legion of Myth was here before anybody did a drive-by. Drive-by Happy New Year. That was before the show started. Okay. Well, everybody, I will be on GoofOn in just a little bit. See you soon, and I will be coming back after I go to GoofOn. Happy New Year. Keep it quantum. Keep it quantum.